Hi everyone, this is going to be a live reading for your zodiac sign, okay? So what do we have first? We have Aries. All right, let's see. What is this week for Aries? One maximum of 2 cards. One. You know, the way that you're thinking about things right now, it's definitely a no-go, right? So as far as holding back right now, the decisions that you might have have together, it's a no, right? Why not? Because you need to think about it a little longer. Don't worry, this is not Aries. This is not something where you have to hit while the iron is hot. This is something where you have to learn how to chill on the answer for a little bit, okay? So if you think you already have the answer, chill on that answer for a little bit and just hold on. Better opportunities might come. I know, Aries, I know you are burning to go and make that decision because that is who you are, but not right now, okay? So what do we have as far as Taurus? Taurus, you have everything except the discipline. You have everything except the discipline, sweetheart. You have everything except the discipline. That's just really it. That's all I have for you. So really just work on your discipline, Taurus, because other than that, you have all the capabilities, all the knowledge and everything else. But it's just that before you go and start, like if you came up with this idea of something you want to build and something you want to go about, if you're starting school, if you're starting some kind of project or something, it's just like, okay, but before we go, because I understand I'm ready, right? I may have all of my, let's say that it's a school thing. I may have all of my school supplies. I may have all of my laptop paid for, my car, my clothing that I'm going to use, my class schedule. You know, I prepared my work schedule even around this whole thing. However, do I have the discipline to stay and stick to the whole thing, right? So tweak on that a little bit. And it doesn't mean that you're doomed to anything. It just means that we must learn how to apply ourselves. That's all. This doesn't mean that you're fucked or that you can't do it. This just means that if we focus on being more disciplined, then we will be able to succeed. So as far as this card right here, this tells me that there's no need to fear that other people around you are going to get on your way. Everybody around you is going the same way, in the same direction that you are. So learn how to learn from each other and work with each other. Okay? So now we have Gemini. Gemini. Okay, Gemini. So Gemini, if you feel like you've been lacking, okay, the food lover, don't come in here again with all your little comments, okay? You're lucky I have not blocked you. So what do we have in here? We have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, Gemini, if you feel like you've been lacking direction, if you feel like you've been lacking inspiration, if you feel that you can't just seem to get and understand the messages coming in, it's because you're not really allowing the universe to speak to you. Because the writings on the wall are there. The writings on the wall are there. You know, just try to pay a little less attention and try to pay a little more attention. How does this work? Well, instead of looking for the answers in the obvious things, I'm going to just let him come to me. And perhaps I'm looking for, you know, in the tarot, and I'm looking in my astrology, and I'm looking for advice. But then one day I just go and lay on the ground and look at a cloud, and the cloud has the shape of a tiger, and the tiger reminds me of my confidence, and the confidence reminds me of that one time that, you know, I was really confident about something and I achieved it, and boom, the answer just comes to me, right? So it's about looking at the small details and the small little things in life. And that's where your answers are going to come in for. I feel like it's not so much inspiration. It's more like answers, like a system of things that you want to put together. Okay, so now let's go into Cancer. Okay, Cancer. Here's the thing, sweetheart. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. Everything that is telling you that you're not prepared and that you can't do what you're doing right now, you're getting your feelings, Cancer. Looking out for signs, right, looking out for signs. So Cancer, everything that you feel the relief of finally letting go of things that you were doing that you weren't supposed to be doing. We were picking up in jobs that weren't yours, and that's why it felt like you weren't ready for them. However, learning to let go is key to everything. Also, accepting our shadow here, accepting the fact that there might be things that we're not good at, it's allowing us to be okay with it. It doesn't trigger us no longer that we may or may not be good at doing certain things, right? Like we feel the relief of the acceptance of just accepting that shadow and learning to integrate it and learn that there's things within us that have work and space for improvement. All right. So what do we have after that? Hi, Don. So we have Leo. So what's going on with Leo? Let's see what's going on with Leo. Leo, why are you trying to go at it, but you ain't even got everything that you're not ready for the challenge right now. And the thing is that you have no option at this point. So this week you're going to feel like you're going to be, you put yourself into a situation in which now you have to take command of your actions and of your follow-ups and all these things that you're doing. However, you didn't quite prepare yourself for all of it. So, but there's like there's no holding back now, right? Like you've already in that position. You've already put yourself in the position where you're going to have to go for it, because the Page of Swords tells me there was not enough information gathered, but the Knight of Swords tells me that you're going to go for it anyway. And my intuition is telling me that that's how the cards are playing out at this point, because those are the cards that you played from the beginning, right? It's almost like you have time to study and you didn't, and now you just have to go for it. But you'll be okay. You know, my advice in this, I don't know. My advice is not really worth much because I'm here to tell you what the cards are, but I would just take notes on anything that might not go wrong. You may find out that you're actually really good at something that you didn't thought you were good at. And that's what you procrastinated to try and learn about it for so long, right? Like, I don't want to study for this test because I know that I'm not really good at math, and then all of a sudden the test comes regardless, and I've already enrolled in school and I have to take the test, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, I'm really good at this and I didn't even study that much. Fuck. Imagine how much better I can do at other things, which I don't believe I'm that good at. Maybe I am good at different things, right? Anyway, so what do we have after Leo? We have Virgo. So for Virgo, we're gonna use the angel ancestor. Procrastination is your superpower. You know, there's actually a TED Talk called that. Procrastination as a superpower. I think that's what it's called. Okay, so let me tap into Virgo now. What do we have for Virgo? Be brave and be honest. And that's just really it. You know, like this is a narrow path that you put yourself in, Virgo, right now. This is something that you chose to walk. And now you know that in order to get to the other side, through this bridge that you're going to, you got to keep your energy very aligned by keeping self-honesty and bravery. Meaning you got this, go for it. You've given yourself the structure. You are now that archetype that gets shit done the way that you do. You're going to be okay. Just do as you preach. If you do as you preach, you will be just fine. Da 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 da. All right, so what do we have next? We have Libra. So what's going on with Libra this week? All right, so Libra. Intent and create. High Priest. So it's very much of a male archetype kind of energy, whereas even though it's the High Priest and it's connected, the High Priest is connected towards the divine. This is the divine being put into a action, into a physical, forceful, not forceful, but more like aggressive action, like very driven, very material driven. And by material and physical, I don't really so much mean of value, but I mean like materialistically creating things, right? Like, so this week for Libra, it's about bringing those ideas into fruitions, into actual, you know, get it done, get that shit done, that shit you've been thinking about for a while, that shit that you know, and this might even be from because, you know, in here we focus on self-growth, right? So if you were thinking about changing yourself in a certain manner, and, you know, this doesn't work, you did an inventory, this doesn't, you know, a self-inventory of, you know, character defects and assets, there's some things that weren't working out for you anymore, you're moving forward, you've thought about it for long enough, now is the time to start putting it into action. So the person that you wanted to be, you can now start start being that person, right? And if it comes down as far as like material stuff, so it's basically any ideas that you've had going that you feel like came in divinely. Like if you all of a sudden, Libra, had a God shot one day, or had a dream, or prayed, and these things came to you of what to do next, and you thought about it for a long time, but you definitely feel like this is really connected to a higher thing, like something bigger than yourself told you to do so. It could even be as material as going to school, opening up a business, or anything like that. It's now the time to start, even just creating the template, writing it down, something more physical. Okay. So what do we have now? We have Scorpio. Ooh, Scorpio. Hi, Scorpio. You're hot and cold. Listen. Sweetheart. You're like that person who's a sweetheart, but it's also like a toxic mess right now. And that's okay, because that's kind of your thing, right? You're a Scorpio. So you go really up and down between like this almost bipolar kind of thing, right? Because anything that you express it really intense, especially when it comes down to emotions. And this may come out in your relationships. And as far as relationships with people that you think validate you, you're getting it to be a little too toxic, meaning you're depending too much on it, and it's getting a little too much out of you. And then on the side of the sun, this is just your relation towards the world. You're realizing that you can be kind of careless and free and know that everything is going to be okay at the same time. So there's just two things going on, right? But like, why the relationships that you're really close to, or that you feel that you need in your life, why are those toxics? What toxic traits are you showing, or how are they about to get dark this week? Right? It also may have something to do with you losing your confidence, or trying to be a queen bee about everything. So maybe the fact that you're getting so much attention from the outside perspective of who you are is making you get real dark on the relationships that you're really close to, and that's turning you into a queen bee. Like, it's just kind of a manipulating bitch, right? Like a fucking little bossy bitch. That, there's a difference between a diva and just a controlling bitch. Divas are always welcome, right? Like, hello. So don't let shit get to your head. Sagittarius. What do we have for Sagittarius? Okay, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, people are talking about you. People are not talking about you. What is the world saying about you? You're welcome. What is the world saying about you? What is the world not saying about you? What are things going to be like once you start doing what you want to do? Who gives a shit, really? Because here's the thing. If you worry too much about that means that you're worried too much about finding the validation from the outside, when in reality, it should be coming from the inside. So it's time to go inwards and find that there, because that will connect you to your intuition, all right? Okay, so what do we have after that? That was Sagittarius that I just said, by the way. So now we have Capricorn. Capricorn, what do we have for you today? Let's do a little really good shake on these cards. I don't know how to shuffle cards. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I don't know how to shuffle cards. Like, what do I do? Do I just like... Oh, I did them backwards. No, see? I don't know how to do that. So, what do we have for Capricorn? Ooh, honey boo boo. Okay, so what's the point of being so confident in life that when you when life tells you to do something, or when someone asks you to do something that involves to invoke all of this kind of confidence, you shrivel up? So you feel the confidence, but you don't want to use it because you are afraid that this confidence that you feel is not real? You got to test it at some point, honey. That's all I got to say. Okay, Aquarius. So what do we have for Aquarius? Aquarius, you have to take a chance on letting go. It's in your best interest, at Aquarius, that you take a chance on letting go of, whether it's going out too much, friendships that you don't need anymore. It's almost like you're really afraid of losing these people in your life, but that's resisting a change. It's almost like you called for a change in your life, right? And you're taking that step into that change that you have to make, but really blindly giving yourself to your higher self and to your best purpose in life. It's almost like you ask for change, the change is coming, but the change is asking you to trust it. Now, this is yourself that you got to trust, because you created this change, right? You manifested the reality of something different happening. You wanted to go about things differently. And now that you're realizing what this involves, a part of yourself that have already made that decision is asking the rest of you who is in unhealthy attachments towards people that are no good for you in life right now. It's not because they're no good. It's just that they are no good for you right now with what you want to do. It's like, why do I want to go watch a scary movie with a person who hates scary movies, hates going to the movies, just hates movies, period. It's not like being in dark places. And they're just not going to enjoy it. They're not going to, you know, so it's like, why do I, so if that's what I want to do, I want to go watch a scary movie. I want to pick people who are into that, or at least are willing to, right? So basically the same thing. If you're stepping into a different set of your life where there's certain things that you want to do now and change and go differently about your life, why are you resisting of letting go of people? Do you feel like you're going to be alone? That is the scary part. It is the scary part because for a minute you might feel like it. But the longer you stay true to yourself, the longer you realize that all of the people will start coming in the moment you start letting go. So listen, I am becoming a really big fan of let him go, girl. Let him go. The faster you let him go, the faster the next one that will be closer to what you want will come. You just got to be aware, right? Like, that's not, I don't like that about him. Let me move on to the next one. Not, oh, he fucked me over and I dealt with it, even though I already knew I didn't like it, and then another one just like it is going to come. There's a big difference between those two right there. So what do we have now? We have Pisces. Pisces, there's so much opportunities happening right now, and you kind of have to be a bitch to get them. Yup, you got to be a bitch about it. You got to be hardcore. You got to be completely detached. You got to step on some motherfucking people. And let me tell you something. Sometimes you got to step on motherfuckers that are ready to step on you, or that be stepping on other people. And when that's the only language they talk, even if you are a better person than that, and there's something you just can't fight a fair game with people who are used to not fighting a fair game. So sometimes you just got to step over a motherfucker or two. Like, you got to step on the patriarchy. You got to step on white privilege. You got to step on all those little things that are used to just having their way, right? Because if you don't, not all the time, sometimes you can have a conversation about it, right? But like the way that this is showing right now, those opportunities that you want to get, Pisces, these are people that are used to getting their way. You got to go against it, honey. You got to say, I don't give a shit what the fuck I'm feeling about leaving you high and dry, but I got to get what the fuck I want to get. And that's the only way all your ideas are going to come into fruition. Okay, so remember that nothing of this is guaranteed either once you actually do that and let go of them. None of it is guaranteed. Rihanna, none of this shit promise, none of this shit promise, okay? But it will still get you closer to where you need to go. With that being said, I fucking love you all. Remember, the universe is always on your side, and don't be a little bitch. Bye.